Hi, I'm Lynnea.
I'm Dan.
And this is
Dusted or Busted. This week was the first episode of RuPaul's Drag Race Season 6.
The first part of the premiere.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about the entrances into the workroom. So our first impressions of each queen.
My favorite entrance, I think, was April Carrion. Because I love the...
Right, with the, Boy Scout...
The butch with the parachute hanging down the back. I was living for that. That was a good idea. Now, I thought I was going to like Vivacious's based on the trailer because they just show her walking in with the foam head on.
Ornacia!
Mother has arrived, but what they don't show in the trailer is when she walks into the workroom. She's got fabric. She can't unfasten it.
She can't do the reveal.
All the other queens were there. Come on, mama. Pull it down.
They were all rooting so hard for you, Vivacious.
So, as much as I love Vivacious, I would have
That was a bad
She was my most busted. Although I didn't like Adores that much.
Well, I didn't either.
It doesn't help that she's first.
Right. I think it would have been fine if there were other queens, but it was just really awkward because there was nobody else there to see it.
Although her look when she came in, not a huge fan of the dress, but that hair was everything for me. And her shoes.
Mm-hmm. She looked good.
She looked good, yeah. First impressions.
Lagange's death drop, but everyone already knew that was coming because first of all, it was in the promo.
Yeah.
And second of all, she's from the House of Edwards.
Yeah.
That's basically how they make their living.
I'm learning how to do death drops for my next show, actually.
I liked Ben de la Creme. I didn't mind her at all. I think, because everyone was like, oh, she's so kooky. Well, that's her character. And then when they showed her in, the little sidebar stuff...
she's Ben de la Creme.
Yeah, she's Ben de la Creme. She is kind of butch. But she then, turns it off. Another first impression, Gia Gunn walked in with that hula hoop. I thought Shangela was going to jump out of the purse. I hate her voice, but...
I kind of like her still. I know we have some mixed feelings about her.
I'm happy with her after this.
I'm not unhappy with her yet.
Yeah, I suppose.
So who else haven't
we'll see.
We talk about everything. Oh, Kelly Mantle.
Right.
Yeah.
I didn't like her opening outfit. For the first impression, I thought it was kind of dull. And I think it would have been okay with a different wig. Because the black wig was kind of dull, I thought.
Yeah. Because it was black everything. Because the hearts on her dress were pink. But the background was black. Her tights were black.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I'm sure she would have had more dresses to show for it.
Right.
But she went home first, so she's not going to use them.
Because Kelly Mantle's 37. She's been doing drag forever. And Gia Gunn goes, she's a drag queen. If it's just not giving it, maybe it's just not for you. I was like, girl.
Yeah.
Please.
That was shady. I thought that Gia tried to be shady too soon and too much. Back to the entrances when there's only 7 because they only did half, which we hated at first because we were like, if the purpose is for them not to get lost in the crowd, that's their job. Their job is to go and give a good first impression, and if they just sit in the back, that's their own fault. But there have also been seasons where queens get by because they can just
keep
skate on
falling
through.
In the middle.
Yeah, they're just in the middle, and so all of a sudden you get to top 5, and it's like, how did you get here?
Right. Because they keep making
they're
5th
mediocre.
place out of 9, 5th place out of 8.
So they never go home,
right.
But they're never good
standing out
either. So in a way, it really separates them. So I'm actually okay with it. Ru just needs to stop adding more queens every single season.
The only thing about it is that they got rid of Kelly Mantle, who Lynnea and I both thought was a really good contender. So she got rid of a prime contender right away. Mm-hmm. Whereas if it had been 14 queens, she might not have even been in the bottom 2 at all. Okay,
so on to the mini challenge, where they had to fall into the foam pit.
Which would be terrifying for me.
Really?
Well, it's not that I don't like heights, but doing it in drag with heels and everything, that would be terrifying.
Break something.
You could break Ornacia's neck. So my most dusted of the mini challenge was Ben de la Creme. Now, I know everyone says Laganja won. Laganja's a dancer. Laganja just looked fabulous. But I thought Ben de la Creme was really good.
Yeah, I thought she was good too.
Mostly because in Laganja's picture, her hair was blocking her face.
I did notice that.
And in Ben de la Creme's, you could see her face.
But her pose was everything.
Yeah, her pose was really good. So that's the only reason I think Ben was better than Laganja.
And then
most
busted for that
was actually Kelly Mantle again.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what to say about her. It just wasn't good.
I don't know.
First of all, she covered her face with her arm. You also had something to say about Gia.
I didn't like how she fell in and then she goes, "Was that good?" No, it wasn't. Try it again.
RuPaul. Well, no. But you can try it again.
And another favorite moment from that portion of the show, when Vivacious falls in.
Are you okay?
Ornacia's head. Ornacia pops out of the foam pit.
But then, like, when she was climbing out of the pit,
hilarious.
You could see her, like, grunting and groaning. It was like, oh, she really is 40.
Yeah.
Like, I felt bad for her. Like, you do not make 40-year-olds jump into a pit of styrofoam. That's what little kids do before they start gymnastics.
So for the main challenge this week, the queens had to make a couture gown based off of materials from television shows.
My most dusted, I couldn't really pick one. There were two that were really good. First, I guess I'm going to say Ben de la Creme. She won the challenge. We love Ben de la Creme. She's kooky. She glued that fucking thing, and it looked good.
And she didn't glue it to her dress form.
She came up with a whole design. It was Golden Girls. It was fabulous.
She did a really nice job. I liked it. And I think she was one of the only ones who really did well.
An honorable mention for Dustin, April Carrion.
Yeah, hers, and it was, we were talking about the whole pants thing because she had first mentioned that she was going to do pants.
But then when she went down the runway, she didn't have the pants. And then when Rue asked her about it, she's like, they weren't working, so I decided to change it. Which is a sign of a queen who knows how to listen. So I think April Carrion
she's gonna be fine.
Could make top 5 because she can listen.
Mm-hmm.
She can take critiques.
She takes criticism. I think she looks like Carmen Carrera a little bit.
Kind of.
It kind of reminded me of the post-apocalyptic look that they had to do on season 4.
Yeah, season 4.
Like the first challenge was make it all
post-apocalyptic.
Post-apocalyptic. Speaking of mispronunciations, when Laganja goes, "Downtown Abbey." Nothing about downtown says syndicated television to me. Another moment for me to just pick on Gia a little bit. When Rue came to check on how she was doing and said, "So what are you thinking?" And she goes, "Oh, maybe like a gown type something or like a dress. Maybe the airhead character isn't so much of a character."
Oh, girl. Most busted on the runway, I would say, was Adore Delano. She deserved to be in the bottom 2 more than Vivacious.
I thought Laganja's was a little bit busted, and here's why. When Alyssa Edwards came down the runway in that thing that was like based off of Dancing with the Stars, and she had it made for her, and it had the like black collar and the silver thing, and
the roses and her hair to one side.
And Santino said it was the ugliest garment he had ever seen. Laganja comes down the runway wearing basically the same thing, and Santino likes it. He actually argued with Michelle about it and said, "No, I like that the hair blends into the neckline."
I like the collar.
Also, the fact that all episode, the only thing that I ever heard Gia say was,
"Absolutely."
That's probably why they're not sponsored by Absolute Cocktail anymore. She probably ruined their copyright.
But then no one's garment had any volume. And I'm reading all you bitches for that. Even Vivacious. Like, I love Vivacious. She had volume in the collar, but then she just made a plain skirt the whole way down. Kelly did the same thing, skirt all the way down. Laganja had one little bolt of fabric, like, sticking out of her panties, coming all the way down to the floor that she was tripping on. You need to know how to, like, what Santino said last season, make a silhouette and perfect it.
Thanks, Santino.
No person's outfit had a silhouette except for Ben de la Creme and April Carrion.
Also, I was really hoping that Vivacious would have actually made a dragon on her shoulder.
Me too. And that's another thing we should talk about Adore. She doesn't know how to fucking sew. RuPaul does his walkthrough. Oh, do you know how to sew? No, but I'm just gonna hot glue it. And then RuPaul, like, this is fucking season 6, which we said in one of our other videos. If you do not know how to sew, don't try out for RuPaul's Drag Race.
Then you will go home first.
Kelly Mantle. It's not that not knowing how to sew will send you home.
Because not knowing how to sew, apparently,
Ben de la
Creme won.
You're right. But you have to know how to construct a garment is the difference.
Exactly.
But the thing is, she didn't know how to fucking sew. And she only brought 4 gowns with her. Now, before my first drag show, I had a vision in mind for one of my looks. And I knew I wasn't going to find it off the rack. So I learned how to sew.
We would like to take a moment to recognize Vivacious for that runway walk.
Right.
That was everything.
And I knew, because in one of our other videos, we said LaBeija. And then
what
the first
did
thing
Miss
Michelle
Michelle say?
that walk was everything. It was LaBeija.
That's right. I've been reading some of reviews and blogs online about the first episode, and I know a lot of people were saying, why are they bringing out the drama so soon? Like, it doesn't need to be that way.
Because Laganja started crying in the first episode because she doesn't like her mom, or not that she doesn't like her mom, but she and her mom.
They kind of had a falling out. Which is sad, and I don't think that was the show. I don't think that was Shady producing or editing.
No.
What that was, because it was only supposed to be in the pink box. It was...
They were looking at their pictures.
They were looking at their pictures. And then
Gia
and Adore started talking about the parent issue, and Gia just dropped a bomb on the whole room and said, so how are your relationships with your parents? You're in a room full of drag queens. You don't just let that sit. So that was interesting. And we got to see that Vivacious was kind of the mom of the group.
Yeah, because Vivacious...
that's not calling her old.
April. Now, what I liked about that was that Laganja said, I didn't really have a lot of friends when I was growing up. And then Vivacious goes, you have 6 now. I was like, girl, yes, please. Mm-hmm. And now she's going to have 11 because she didn't get eliminated.
So every week, we're going to do something called a shade list. And these are queens that we feel are shady. Not necessarily little instances of shade, but just overall queens who are shady. My first is Gia Gunn.
Yeah, she was throwing shade the whole time.
From the moment she stepped in, she was just asking for attention. And the whole thing with Vivacious,
that's what I was going to say.
Where they were talking about Paris is Burning and Vivacious was doing the voguing. And she gets out, and Gia gets out of her chair, and she's just jigging and jiving all the way around.
Doing the Willy Ninja sort of voguing.
And even Vivacious was just like, girl, it ain't cute.
That's what I was going to say, was that Gia, like you mentioned earlier, because this is top 7, you want to stand out. Mm-hmm. And what we've noticed from the last 5 seasons is if you stand out, you're going to get more time in Untucked.
I think that Gia just really wants the attention right off the bat. And I mean, hey, she's got it, because that's all I've been talking about. But she's definitely on my shade list.
Another instance of shade, if we're going to talk about that. Kelly walks into the workroom and she's just like, I'm Kelly Mantle, I'm 37, I do this, and I'm not going to be spouting off my IMDb page like other queens we know. So she read a Willem without even saying her name.
The difference is Willem didn't go home first. Also on my shade list is Adore. I felt like Adore was trying to be really shady, but then she fell off her chair.
Say we go 4 more challenges where you wear something you brought.
She's gonna be out of dresses.
And then there's a challenge where you have to make something. And then somehow she scrapes by. And then the week after that, you have to wear something you brought again. She's gonna be out of luck unless she borrows from another queen. And if I were another queen, I wouldn't lend her something.
Maybe she was only planning on being there 4 weeks.
If you brought 4 gowns to RuPaul's Drag Race...
You're asking to go home.
Right. If I were on
After 4 weeks.
If I were on RuPaul's Drag Race, I would bring everything I thought I would need to win that competition.
Also on my shade list is Santino.
So let's talk about our favorites of the week. My most
Overall.
dusted of the week was Ben de la Creme. She won the main challenge. Her entrance was phenomenal.
I'm going to agree with
challenge,
that.
Yeah.
I'm going to agree with that. My most busted of the week, Gia Gunn. I want that girl to go home so badly. I've already had it with her.
You have to admit, though, that her runway was one of the better ones.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering how many times we're going to see the high pony. My most busted of the week was Laganja, because that runway outfit was the worst dress I've ever seen. No, I'm kidding. But also, her personality was getting on my nerves. She just wants attention. And
do you think that's just a character thing for her, or do you think that's like actually her?
I think it's
like
a character for her that she doesn't know when to turn off.
Okay.
I'm gonna be Laganja for a second. Is anyone else done with their drink, Mama?
And everyone else is like
half full like hers.
We said this would happen.
Right. I didn't like Adore either, but she grew on me.
Adore would have been my other busted queen.
But she did okay in the photo shoot. She wasn't as annoying as Laganja, so we're gonna give her a pass this week. So now we can talk about our predictions.
Predictions for next week's episode.
Because we already know what's coming, thankfully. The first queen who walks in the next day is Bianca Del Rio. She walks in, she looks around, she's like,
all the cupcakes.
Did I miss something?
Late to the party.
And then Trinity walks in, and all the other queens walk in.
Can we talk about that moment where Trinity walked in, and then it was just like
silent,
super awkward?
Then Bianca goes, she reminds me of a friend I had in New Orleans. He's dead now. Based on like the trailer, the footage we see
what we know of them,
of later in the season, plus what we know, I think Magnolia's going to be in the bottom two because I don't see anything of her besides next week. She walks in, Milk reads her, she's like, that nose, who are you pointing at? Which, now if you've seen our other videos, I'm going to say this again, let it be known that we want to like Milk.
We do.
We want to like her, but for me, there's just something not clicking with me. Like premiere party pictures, Milk looked gorgeous in those, but if you're trying to make a first impression to America, I wouldn't want to look like a spoof of something. That's me. Anyway, and Milk reads Magnolia for her nose contour.
Your nose seems very pointed right now.
So we know we're going to see a lot of Courtney. We're going to see a lot of Darian Lake. We're going to see more of Jocelyn, which we weren't feeling Jocelyn at the beginning, but you see a lot of different looks from her. So we're going to see Jocelyn. And that's sort of how I knew Vivacious wasn't going to go home. Even though someone on one of our other videos said she was the first going home. All tea, all shade.
That was the other thing. Some of the queens, they've been saying, like, no tea, no shade, but blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no. All tea. Shade, yeah. All tea, all shade.
So, bottom two, I'm going to say next week, Magnolia and Milk. I feel like Milk will turn it out.
I think Milk's going to be okay.
But I just I feel like I need to see more of Milk. Mm-hmm. And we like to make fun of her because she's Milk. I was going to change my drag name to Stop Sign. If we're going for inanimate objects, I'm going to Stop Sign. The only person I've got mixed feelings about whether they're going to go far or not is Trinity. Because I haven't seen that many looks of hers. Although I kind of want Trinity to do well, because we like Trinity.
We do.
This was our review. Make sure you like and comment and subscribe.
And we'll see you guys again next week.
Bye.
Bye.
So we have just done our review of episode 1 of season 6 of RuPaul's Drag Race. So we decided that for this season of RuPaul's Drag Race, for every fallen queen, we're going to make a cocktail in her honor. So this is the Kelly Mantle breakfast cocktail. And we're going to start with our bacon ice cubes.
Don't wear bacon, children.
2 pieces each because we're watching our figures. This is 1/2 ounce each, but since I'm making cocktails for the both of us, we're going to do 1 ounce. So it's 1 ounce of vodka. New Amsterdam gin, so 1 ounce of gin. 1 ounce of triple sec, orange liqueur. And then we top it off with orange juice, because orange juice is a breakfast cocktail. Breakfast drink. I don't always have cocktails with breakfast. Sometimes, but not always. Since orange juice is a breakfast drink, it goes perfect with bacon, so we're going to top off the Kelly Mantle cocktail with orange juice. You can't do one video without stealing. So this is our Kelly Mantle cocktail, vodka, gin, triple sec, and orange juice. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye.